There's a lot to cover in A levels. There's a lot more tests, there's a lot more content. Overall, it is significantly harder than G or GCSEs. So it's very common for students to, come home, get burnt out, and just not have the energy. They're pretty much exhausted. But the good thing is, with proper planning and execution, you can make your, the journey throughout A levels a pretty smooth journey. So in this video, I'll tell you how I avoided getting burnt out and exhausted, while even though I had a lot of stuff to cover. These 5 points that I'm going to mention in this video will, help you adjust to the life in A level and overall not get burnt out, but also get good grades and be more productive on the side. So no wasting any more of your time, let's dive straight into the first point. Now, when you're in A levels, it is very important for you to have a proper schedule and routine. Now, the way you're going to do this is you must plan a time for each subject. So every day you must study one subject. That's what I see best. What I would do is come home from school, relax for a bit, and then I would, get 1 or 2 hours in of studying done. And 1 or 2 hours is not that much, by the way, especially when you're in A levels. So it's very important for you to plan your time and also plan your breaks. You must have a very healthy balance between, your work and your breaks. And do not forget physical fitness when you're in A levels, because I made that mistake and I've put on a lot of weight in the last few months of my A levels. So this is something that I'm going to do as well from now on, is that plan your time. So what I'm going to do is plan the time I'm going to study, plan the time I'm going to take breaks, fit in gym in that, running, whatever it is, whatever sport you play, perhaps football, cricket, whatever it is. So make sure that you have a very healthy balance between, your studying and your other life. Another thing that you should be doing is prioritizing the important tasks first. Now, what I mean by this is you need to be focusing with the stuff that has a deadline. So, for example, if you have a project or homework that you're meant to do, make sure that you get it done. Like, for example, if you have something that's due tomorrow and something that's due in a week, make sure that you do the thing that's due tomorrow first, because, you have to prioritize your important tasks first. And reduce your stress by getting the harder tasks done first. Now, there's an analogy which is called eat the frog. Now, it is a very weird analogy, but let me give you what it is. Let's say you like steak. Now, you have a frog in a plate in front of you and you have a steak in front of you. You can either eat the frog first and then eat the steak, or you can eat the steak first and then the frog. Think about what you guys would do in this scenario. Would you eat the frog first, or would you eat the frog after? Now, anyone who's smart would probably go for the frog first. And the reason for that is, getting the harder task out of the way. You're supposed to get the hardest task done so that the rest of your day can go pretty much smoothly. So what I would recommend is whatever the hardest task. For example, if a past paper is the hardest task of the day, get up, wake up, and immediately do that past paper, just so the rest of the day goes smoothly. You don't have to think. Just like I said in the eat the frog analogy, when you're eating the steak, if you choose the steak first, you're going to be thinking constantly, oh, I have to eat a frog next. But if for example, you've eaten the frog first, you can enjoy the steak properly. So the thing is all about, what task is hardest and how early can you get it done. When you get the hardest task out of the way, everything else becomes very, very, very easy for you. Now, the next point is using the correct study techniques. I say this a lot, and it is very important. Learn to use active recall and flashcards. If you want a video on that, you can, let me know in the comment section below, and I will make a video on it very soon. Use techniques that would, allow a lot more to get done in a lot less time. For example, writing notes is a pretty long process, and it is quite ineffective as well. So there's no point in you writing notes. Just go straight for active recall, spaced repetition, and learning the content. Do stuff that, saves you time, but also makes you smarter. Another thing that you can do to save time is pay attention in class. A lot of us, do this. We don't pay attention in class, then we have to come back home, relearn the topic. If you just pay attention in class, you don't have to come back home and relearn the topic. Just make sure that you understand whatever's being taught in class. If you do not understand, then you can come back home and, obviously relearn. But if you do understand in class, you don't have to, come home and relearn the topic again. You can just straight go for past papers or whatever it is. So make sure that you're not wasting your time in school. Your parents pay a lot of money for it. Make sure you're using your time effectively in that as well. Point number 4 is avoiding multitasking. Focus on one single task at a time. There's no point in, doing physics, chemistry simultaneously. Focus on one thing as well. Something I would do personally is do one subject a day. So for example, if I come back from school, I'm going to do maths. For example, today's Monday, right? Monday, I'll do maths. Tuesday, I'll do physics. And Wednesday, I'll do chemistry. Like this, you can distribute, your entire day, and then you don't have to focus on different things at different times. You can just focus on one single thing per day. You can complete as much as you can, and then the next day comes, you can move on. For me, this would work, but you can divide it into perhaps two subjects. You can divide it equally into two subjects per day. So Monday you can study physics and chemistry. Tuesday you can do maths and physics. You can distribute it like that as well. But I wouldn't recommend doing it more than two subjects a day. Minimize distractions. You can't be playing games while you're studying, and your phone is probably the biggest distraction that you have in your life. So what I would recommend is you go ahead and kick your phone out of the room, or keep it somewhere else where you won't get distracted. When you come back from school, you have to make sure that you're focused. You can study for 1 hour with full focus, or you can study for 3 hours with no focus at all. But that 1 hour with focus is so much more important than those 3 hours without focus. So whatever you do is study with focus. Anything that distracts you from doing that, kick it out of your room, or get rid of it. And last but not least is get enough sleep. Now this is something that is very important and a lot of people do not understand. We all know that A levels are not easy, and if you're not getting enough sleep, but what I mean by enough sleep is at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and if you're not getting that amount of sleep, you're not going to be able to function throughout the day, especially for subjects like physics and maths, which require a lot of numbers. If you do not get enough sleep, then there's no point in you studying that, because you're not going to understand it either way. And you have to go to sleep early. And a lot of students that I saw, beside me in the same class or same year group, made this mistake. They used to pull all-nighters. They used to get 3-4 hours of sleep maximum, and it's not good. It's not, you end up falling asleep in class, and when you come back home, you're not able to study when you come home as well. So make sure that you're getting enough sleep. 7 to 8 hours is enough. If you have to wake up at 5 a.m., let's say, then you go to sleep at 10 p.m., which is more than enough. If you have to wake up at 6, just go to sleep at 11. It is not that hard. You can get that amount of sleep only if you want to. Getting enough sleep also prevents fatigue when you come home. So, when you come back home, you won't be as exhausted as you would if you got less sleep. You can come home and, you can study. But whereas if you got like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, when you come back home, you're not going to be able to do anything, and you're just going to end up falling asleep. So it's not really, it's not really productive. In fact, if anything, it's counterproductive. So make sure that you have, a schedule that you're following every single day, that you come home, 10 p.m. is the time I'm going to sleep, and you follow that every single day. Trust me, having a healthy schedule and knowing what you're going to do today is very helpful and can boost your grades a lot. Trust me, try this for like a month. If it doesn't work, then you can do whatever you want. But if you see changes in that 1 month, trust me, you have to stick to it till the end, and you will see unimaginable differences in your grade from the start till the end. And you will thank me and yourself for doing it. But yeah, that's it. It's really not that deep. All you have to do is stay productive and make sure that you're doing stuff that even you should be doing. A big mistake a lot of students make when they come in A levels is not paying enough attention in class, not working till like the last few months, which is very, very bad. You should be consistent throughout the whole year if you want to get that good grade. And yeah, literally that's all you need to do to get a good grade and to maintain a healthy balance. I did get a bit exhausted sometimes, but then if you stick to a plan, it's gonna work out eventually. Trust me, you can do this. A levels are not as hard as everyone thinks. They just find it hard because they do not do the right stuff. If you do the right stuff, it becomes quite easy. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope to see you back on the channel soon. Thank you for watching. Please do leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you with another video in a few days. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.